Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Is this thing on? Tick, tick, tick. Is this thing on? Hello, 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 hello. Just being silly. Nothing wrong with a little silliness. Who was that? Norm Nathan on WBZ back in the day? Such a deep cut reference, I know that. You know what? Here, since I'm just getting started, we're going to be doing this for a while. Let me see if I can plug in my phone. Here, look at the ceiling. Here, check it out. All right, there we go. There we go. Good morning, all. Good morning, all. I'm kind of getting myself prepped for the day. Maybe you are too. It is Monday. It is Monday after, for me, I had a very busy weekend. Busy with fun, mostly fun. Heck, all of it fun. Why not? Why not just call all of it fun? Good morning, Becky and Mary and Oceanana. Christine, ooh, early bird for you on the West Coasty. So nice. Monk, nice to see you. Kat Roby is here. And Kimberly shared. I don't know, anybody else want to share? I don't even know how to share the what are we doing here? A TikTok live? Yes. Share the TikTok live. Maybe there are other people who are struggling. I love this. Laura Gibbon Voorhees, rock on. Laura Gibbon Voorhees is making space in her life for what's important for her, decluttering. So she's saying no to some other things. So she can say, today I am driving to my House rep's office and planning to voice my opinion to her staff. Yes. The only way you get what you want in life is by taking actions towards it. Occasionally, something unexpected would happen, but if you're waiting for something unexpected to happen, it may not happen. But if you take action, if you decide what you want and try to make it happen, that increases the likelihood. So rock on, Laura Gibbon Voorhees. I am giving you a high five. And I see Christine has got the yawning. Oh, so tired. I am a little bit, on the tired side myself. It is a beautiful day. Good morning, spreading sunshine. Cat Mama, thank you for letting people know how they could share this TikTok live. Just as a heads up, it's only 8:02 in the morning East Coast time. I will be here for an entire hour, so I'll be here until 9 o'clock, and then I'm gonna hop over to YouTube, hoping that the technology gods are on my side. But yeah. We're here today on a Monday morning. We are checking in with ourselves because in at least the society that I live in, Saturday and Sunday are treated differently than Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, the funny thing is I work for myself and I have a very flexible schedule, and yet because I also live in a greater society that does that kind of work week weekend thing, and see, Erin, yay, here I am. But weekends are different. So maybe your weekend felt different than a Monday morning does. Now, I will share with you, we had a lot of fun this weekend, and I thought of doing a TikTok live, and then I said, you know what, I've got some stuff of my own to do, and I knew I was going to be back here in the morning for you guys, so I wasn't worrying. Also, frankly, this is really kind of a neat thing for me, is that when I record these TikTok videos, these TikTok lives, and these and the YouTube lives and some of the little one-off videos I used to do. I haven't done a lot of those lately, but they are many of them, especially the lives, all the lives I've done for the past 2.5 years, hour-long lives are on YouTube. And so they're available for you to, get it, YouTube, to listen to and to watch and to be inspired by and motivated by and learn from. They are always at your fingertips, so that if I'm not here live, and you guys know this about me, and if you don't know me, hey, nice to meet you. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching here on TikTok and on the internet and on YouTube primarily, Destination Decluttered. Yeah. Destination Decluttered. Oh, good to know. Mary Sherwin just said, I only recently discovered you, so glad to hear your lives are on YouTube. I have so many questions. Mary, I have so many answers. So we're going to get along well. Okay. No, this is such a good thing. So let me share you with, and I was thinking of you, Erin, when I was saying this is so Erin and I used to coach together. So she and I communicate kind of outside of the social media. And she was saying to me yesterday, hey, are you doing a live today? I was kind of hoping you would. And I said, I thought about it, but I've got stuff going on. Yesterday was actually my wedding anniversary, our wedding anniversary, my husband and me. 23 years married, 25 years together. Kind of time flies when you're having fun. Had I not had the vast library, basically, of videos that I could remind Erin and everybody about the abundance you have at your fingertips, I might have felt a little bit bad, like, oh, somebody needs me, but I'm going to go out and have brunch. But instead, this is really what a wonderful thing Erin is saying. So I reminded Erin of the YouTube recordings, and Erin said, your YouTube recordings kept me company for hours yesterday. The office looks and feels so much better. That just gets my heart swelling, kind of like the Grinch when it busts out of the little microscope or whatever. So, yes. Yeah, I know. Oh, fine. Spent time with a cute boy. Yep, we went to brunch. We then also went to the movies, and then we saw a friend play some music, and we walked downtown. And then talk about a cute boy who's about, age 13. We're walking home from the movie theater in our town, and he has much better hearing than I do, which is weird because he's a musician. And so he's probably been exposed to more loud music. But he heard the ice cream truck. He heard the Mr. Softy sound. And so then we walked over and got an ice cream and came home. So it was a wonderful anniversary. So thank you very much. Thank you. And I was able to enjoy it so much more because of the peace of mind I had. The peace of mind. Now notice where my hands go when I say peace of mind. Like sometimes we think our mind is up here. And I think our mind is maybe a combo of our head and our heart. And I felt good knowing that there were plenty of resources for you guys because I also am traveling this week. I did add another TikTok Live and YouTube Live to this week's calendar. If you want access to that calendar, sign up for the mailing list. So who was it? I apologize. New people. Mary Sherwin. One of the best things you can probably do to get started with what I do here on Destination Decluttered, which is basically answer your questions about kind of how to get started decluttering from my kind of decluttering life coaching, Gen X, pop culture, pushing 60 perspective. And one of the things that I do is I do travel a lot. So if you want to know exactly when I'm going to be showing up, sign up for the mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com, sign up. And then the mailing list you get, I was calling it a calendar right then, but it's more like TV Guide where you know when the shows are going to be on. I'll say one more thing about that, then I'll hop into the comments. One is that it is 8:08 in the morning right now, live on May 19th, 2025. I'm on TikTok. 9 o'clock, just in about 52 minutes, I will be changing the channel, or with the clicker. And I will be doing an hour long on YouTube. And then right from the YouTube, I'm going directly into a decluttering party. So we do these decluttering parties oftentimes on the weekends, but some people have said they'd like them on the weekdays too, which is an hour and a half plus of a Zoom call that you pay a ticket, you get the Zoom link, and then we hang out together and we declutter together. So it's really what it is you will hear things that I talk about that make sense to you or resonate or make you better understand what you can do to get started with your decluttering or continue your decluttering. On the decluttering parties, it helps you put those things into practice with also the support and encouragement and me being right there live with you. So you don't have to fear, what if I get stuck and don't know what to do? If you do, you just put on your mic and be like, Beth, I'm stuck. And I help you out. So all of that is happening this morning. So just so you know kind of the shows. All right. All right. Here we go. Yay. Leslie did the decluttering party on Saturday. So much fun. It was fun. It was fun. And I'm glad you had fun too. So I love this. Yeah. And Cat Mama, I like the shorts too. I may start doing those again. We'll see. We'll see. So thank you for all the kind wishes, people. So I love this. Kat Roby, just so everybody knows, and maybe even the new folks will know, Kat Roby loves to use this time to set some intentions, as we would say when I go to my yoga class, to say, this is what I want to do, and get some external accountability, much like going to a yoga class. I could, in theory, do some yoga out in my living room watching YouTube, and I have done, but man, do I show up a lot better and consistently and push myself a little bit further if I go to a class. So Kat will post what she's intending to do during the live. Now, again, to be clear, and just as a reminder to everybody, reminding you of what you can do with this time. You don't just have to sit here and scroll or watch me. You can carry me around the house. You can put me, down there while you're brushing your teeth. And if you want to, you can, as I like to say, putter and declutter. Getting the day, yourself ready for the day, getting the day ready for you, getting your environment ready for you so it's easier for you to live today. So Kat Roby has 37. I love numbers too. Numbers are really interesting. Okay. Kat Roby says 37 tasks to sort and tag in Asana, which is an online thing. Emails, 200 plus to archive. Love it. So I love that you are being very, not mindful and demure, but maybe very precise and very specific about what you want to get done. Not like, I'm going to clean the house. I'm going to declutter the house. It's a good start, but you're going to be able to chunk it down. Is going to make it get so much easier. So there we go. Judy, good morning to you. And she says, I plan to join the party. If I get back from an appointment, I'll be signing up last minute. That's okay. And yes, completely, 100%. I love it when people realize that they may not have known ahead of time if something was going to work in their schedule, but as they get closer to the party time, which is 10 a.m. Eastern today, and it'll go till, probably till about, 11:45. And do what works for you and know that the resources are available. Okay? So yes, and totally mindful, totally demure. That's me. Actually, that's somebody else, and she's doing great on the TikTok, so that's awesome. But hey, this is me. I'm here for you. Really, I've got my own stuff going on. I'm doing pretty well. I am really the living, breathing, experiencing result of the stuff that I offer to you. And I want to be available to you. So I can sit here. Here's the thing. This is the beauty. Let's embrace the beauty of the live experience versus the recorded. With a recording, you are beholden to whatever we talked about that day. Today, it's live, not Memorex, okay? So what's going to help you today? If you share that with me, I can share with you what I hope that will help you. So it doesn't have to be the whim of whatever people talked about in a recording. So take a moment, and here's what I want to offer. This is my kind of MO, and this is how I like to start things myself, and I suggest this to my clients. I just offer this kind of like with a platter of apps. Pick what you like, notice it, just experience, know it's there. Checking in with your physical self is always a good start. In the morning, throughout the day, checking in with your physical self, because if you're not feeling good physically, everything else is probably affected. If you're not feeling well physically, say to yourself, what can I do to make myself feel better? It could be going to the bathroom. It could be drinking a cup of water. It could be taking a medicine. It could be stretching your body. Could be all sorts of things, whatever it is. So getting in touch with your physical self. Kind of doing a scan. How's my head? Okay, am I feeling good? Okay, working down. Oh, there's my gut. What can I do about my gut? Whatever. Check in with yourself physically right now. I forgot my glass of water. I'll have to get that during the party. But I have my tea and it has water in it. The next thing is energetically. How are you feeling energetically? Are you tired? Are you energetic? Are you kind of, you don't know? Maybe you're just getting started. What can you do to get your motor running? Head out on the highway. What can you do to get your motor warmed up? Your energy, kind of igniting the spark as if, and I use the car stuff, the car metaphor a lot. So for example, checking in with your physical self would be that thing where you walk out to your car before you get into it and you just walk around it and you notice, Do I have a flat tire? You get in to the car and you look to see, how's my gas tank? Do I have windshield wiper fluid? Are my mirrors faced in the right direction? Is there anything on my windshield? And if those things need adjusting them. Once you're safe to drive physically in your car, turning on the ignition, getting the juices flowing. And then once you've got your juices flowing and you've got all the stuff going on, then you get in gear, and then you then having a direction to point to. Every time you drive somewhere, unless you're cruising around and just driving in circles, you have a place you're going to. It could be the grocery store, it could be your office building, it could be the mall, the dentist. You have, here I am, right here on the map, and here's where I want to go. So I like to share with you that concept of thinking of your life like a road trip, thinking of your life like you are the driver of a car, okay? And think of that yourself. If I were in a car, what would I do? So Kimberly is saying, and I love this because one of my big things, Kimberly is asking for any tips, and I've read her comment, and I'm going to back up. I want everybody here to remember the word down. And I like to call this kind of all the downs. So I talk about, sitting down physically putting your feet down on the ground, shoulders down. That's under the physical parts of you. You're getting better. Energetically, maybe it's quieting down your environment so you can calm down your nervous system. You can settle down. And maybe focus down on something to do. And Kimberly, what I want to offer to you is, and I'm a very good I have practice in noticing when I feel like all the downs could be applicable. So one of the things too is going to be chunking it down. Now, another way I like to work with things is opposites. Okay, so chunking it down to me is the opposite of overwhelm, of too much, of I can't even, is to chunk it down, to focus down and chunk it down. So Kimberly, you clued me into this first off because the words you're using and the words we use have power that you don't even realize, because you're overwhelming yourself by saying, I have so many decisions. It may be true. I'm not going to lie, it may be true, but looking at the entirety of it, is that motivating you to start, or is it encouraging you to just sit and go like, hey? So when you think so many decisions, so many is too much, so let's chunk it down. So many decisions, all old paper stuff. I just want to junk it all, but I just found $80. So isn't that funny, you guys? Think about it. We talk about paper. Paper can be money. Right, so notice that the universe is also sending you a sign, Kimberly. The universe is saying, you might not want to junk all this because there may be treasure in them thar hills. But notice what I want to offer to you, to everybody here, and myself included. Anytime you start to feel overwhelmed, it means that you are looking at whatever it is that you're overwhelmed by with too wide of a lens, too big. You're looking at the big picture. The only way you're going to get started to change that big picture is to chunk it down and focus down on the smallest viable first step that you can do. So what I would say, Kimberly, with the paper, old paper stuff, another way you do this is chunking down things by categories. I want you to think of a chunk and categories. Categories will make decluttering easier. So when you say you have all old paper stuff, is like a header. Old paper stuff, like you're walking in. Okay, how about this? You're at a shopping center, right? And you see a store, and the store sign says all old paper stuff. And when you go in there, a store is usually chunked down into different departments. So what I want to offer to you is to think of you. Yes, you have all old paper stuff. What are some of the categories, names of categories of old paper stuff? Think about it. Just give yourself a minute. And you don't have to do it as quickly as like the game would do it or you were out. So what is it? Whose is it? Start to make piles of like items together. My paperwork, my husband's paperwork. family paperwork, our paperwork, bills that need to be paid is a heading, whatever. You know, you are good at this. You know, you can be good at this. So those are a couple of things. So all the downs and writing down these downs. Everything I say, if something hits you, write it down. If you don't have the opportunity to do that, know that I'm going to download this Destination Decluttered TikTok live, and I'm going to upload it to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. And then when you do have the opportunity, go back and listen to it. Sit down, write down, and go through and read some of these things down. I hope it helps. I hope that helps. Now, Laura Gibbon Voorhees has given herself an external deadline. A friend is visiting tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning deadline because somebody else is going to see my house. So I have a solid deadline for getting my surfaces decluttered. Yeah. And she's planning the road trip because between here and tomorrow morning when her friend comes over, she is going to go visit her local politician to voice her opinion on whatever's going on. She is also knowing that probably will expend a lot of energy. It would for me. It would really tax my nervous system to do that, but I would do it anyway. But knowing that I did that, I anticipate that afterwards I may be exhausted. So then she has also factored in a nap. So notice how we plan things like we plan a road trip. If you're on like a windy road that's really treacherous and it causes you to use a lot of your physical, mental energy and focus, you will be drained after that. Because you will be using the energy you started with, and just like the gas tank in your car, that will decrease. So I love that you are planning and anticipating and it's better to factor in a nap and not need it than to not factor in a nap and be dragging your tuchus. So I love it. Ooh, yeah. Now I love this. Elle says, if I'm getting in a car, so we're talking about the car metaphor, I'd think about getting a newer model, and yet I am appreciative of how well my car is doing. Yeah. Now, Beth and Dooley says, for me, was overwhelmed, scarcity, and a nervous system trying to protect from more disappointment. Yes. Okay, good. And it did help. Kimberly has sit down and breathe. Love the tips. Yes. And here's the thing too. Overwhelm, fear. Fear to me. I mean, if I want to get so freaking simple about all of this, which I do because I don't have any interest in anybody who's trying to fancy it up or make it harder to understand. I want to get right to the point so we can be like, I get it. It makes sense. I do it. And I've changed my life. To the life of me, I don't know how many times somebody's like, oh, that's the part of your brain. I don't care what the part of my brain is. I don't care what it's called. I call, basically, the voices in my head, my co-pilot, my backseat driver. Because I know what it's like to be, I was literally in a car on Friday night with a backseat driver. Because we had our friends in the backseat because we were driving into Philly. I was the co-pilot, and my husband was the driver. So we all know what that dynamic is. And what I want to offer to you, because Beth brought up a really good point, which is this. I know this may sound foreign, like strange, because it was to me. I think if you basically have two voices in your head, one that is based in love, and one that is not the opposite of love being hate, but fear. Because hate is part of fear. And so what I want to offer to you is even what your backseat driver is saying to you, when they say no and overwhelm and don't do that and you can't do it, it's fearful that if you start something that you're going to hurt. You're going to feel pain. You're going to be disappointed. You're going to feel some pain or hurt. And so your backseat driver, even if you think they're the enemy, they have a positive intention way underneath all the fear. But even they may not even realize it, but it is there. Okay? So please notice that even the backseat driver voices in your head are just trying to save you from fear. And save you. Don't do that. You may need it someday. And what if you need it someday and you don't have it? Scarcity. Overwhelm. Oh my God, this is so big. I can't do it, so I'm not even going to try because it may hurt if I try to walk 50 miles because that's too much. So I'm not even going to start. And that activates your nervous system and protect yourself from pain, fear, disappointment, all that. So that to me is kind of one of those like higher level concepts that when I was getting my decluttering life or my coaching certification, I was like, wait, what? Huh? No, they're just assholes back there. They're just being mean to me. They're just not giving me what I want. But think about like when, as a child, your parents said no to you. As a kid, you're pissed at them. You don't understand it, but they are older and wiser than you, and they aren't doing it just to be mean. And this is, pick a scenario where they weren't trying to be mean. They were trying to protect you from something. They loved you that they didn't want to see who they loved hurt. So think about that with your backseat driver. And honestly, some of the people in your life may be backseat drivers. Now, backseat drivers to me, if I got too deep in, let me paddle over to the shallow end. You have voices in your head. Now, I say that as a statement. I have voices in my head. You may too. How's that? Because you may not. And really, the voices in your head, the voices in my head, let me not talk for you, but I will talk for myself. The words in my head are the things that I listen to and I hear, and those make me do something, either move forward or stay stuck or move backwards. So to me, I like to look at it as the voice of fear is in the back seat, but the voice of love is in the passenger seat. And for decades, I didn't even know I had the voice in the front seat. I just listened to the fear, to the disappointment, to the scarcity, to the shame, the judgment, all of that. That's the only words that would go through my head, with maybe occasional glimpses of why the hell not, let's just do this. And my life reflected that. Only listening to the backseat driver. Now, I still have my backseat driver. She's still there. She's a scared little kid in a car seat trying to not be afraid. Trying to stop me from doing something because she's afraid of the unknown. I know myself that everything starts with the unknown until you do it and then it becomes known. And so I am so used to noticing my backseat driver voice, listening and then calming it down. Back to the downs, people. So what are you afraid of? Write it down, calm it down. Okay, there we go. Christine, I'm so glad that you, not that you almost had a panic attack, but know what you did. My mantra of slow it down and chunk it down, but it's your mantra now. You don't have to give it to me. You know, you don't have to it is yours now. And you used that to change how you thought and felt. How freaking powerful are you? Look at what you did for yourself. Look at what you did. I didn't do it for you. I shared with you what works for me. And you said, let me try this. You tried it and you're like, oh my gosh, that worked. You now, Christine, you now have a skill in your life and what I like to call a tool in your toolbox for the rest of your life. Slow it down, chunk it down, breathe down, quiet down. Any of those downs, think about how doing something down. Like, for example, here, I get easily distracted by audio, by sounds. Ironically, I married a man who makes sounds because he's a musician. But this morning when I woke up, I was like, oh, what the heck is that going on outside? They are paving the parking lot of the apartment complex across from our apartment. So I shut down my windows. So it would be quieter here so I could focus on you. Okay? So look what you did. This is the great thing. I will seriously say, this is one of the things that I show up. I don't even care if I get credit. How I know I'm making, like I'm doing a good thing is not by accolades, but is seeing people living better lives and seeing people get it. It's like being a teacher. It's like, and seeing that aha moment and noticing when a kid can do it themselves. So Christine, I am so proud of you for hearing something that was unfamiliar to you and experimenting and giving it a shot and noticing, did it work or not? Now, everything I offer, I have used myself and it has worked for me. All of us are wired differently though. So I offer to you, this is what works for me. Now, speaking of being wired, we've got, blood veins all over ourselves, but we also have electricity running through our bodies. You know, we have electricity running through our bodies, and many of us have interesting ways in which our brains and bodies are wired. Now, I say this because ADHD people are maybe wired differently than other people, or maybe other people are different and ADHD is the norm. Who knows? I don't care to debate it, but what I want you to think of is this. I want you to notice how you are. Are you an early bird? Are you a night owl? Can you drink a lot and eat a lot, or do you get a rumbly tumbly? Do your thoughts go 90 miles a minute, or are you kind of cruising along? Find out how you are wired, notice how you are wired, and then plan accordingly. Now, my husband and I'm the early bird, he's the night owl. We're probably like some rom-com on TV or something. But if I try to stay up late with him, I get crabby. And when he tries to get up early in the morning with me, he's crabby. So I get up early and go to bed early, and he gets up late and stays up late. And we respect each other for how we are naturally wired. We don't try to make ourselves into something we're not. But that being said, there are things you can change about yourself if you want to. And that if you want to is a big deal too. So I go back, instead of getting so broad and general, do I want to declutter my house? I would say if you're not decluttering your house, the answer is no, I don't want to. And so I'm like, okay, cool, why not? So I ask you that question here. We're interactive. It's live right now. Just for those of you keeping an eye on the real time, it's 8:31. I'm East Coast, so it's 8:31 Eastern. But we're about halfway through this TikTok live. And why don't you want to declutter your house? When you identify that, it helps you figure out how to declutter your house. Yeah, because we talk about opposites. You have some tension. You've got some resentment maybe. You got some tiredness, whatever it is. Get curious about why you aren't doing the thing that up here in your logical robot brain, you think, I should do that. I should get up every morning and walk for a half an hour and then do half an hour of this, and then I'm going to only eat the vegetables. Okay, Sconson, I love it. Thank you for participating. Overwhelming and not enough time. Two things that are like the major, it's like if it was American Top 40, they'd always be in the top 5 songs, okay? And what I want to offer, overwhelm. We talked about it earlier, Sconson. Overwhelm. Overwhelm, the opposite is going to be chunking it down. Chunking it down. And even Questine said this, kind of just not all at once. Yeah, you don't do everything all at once. You do things in order, one thing at a time. So get more specific. What is overwhelming? What room? Start with a room in your home. Start with a surface in one room at a home. Start with, seriously, here's a fun thing. Like kitchen tiles on your floor used to be 9 by 9. Now they're 12 by 12s, like typical tiles. Start with a 1 foot by 1 foot section. That is pretty much a pretty tiny chunk. And if you did it a chunk at a time, and what I mean it is declutter. And decluttering is deciding. You know? Yeah, even Questine, yes, you're right. Once I had it broken down, I knew I could handle each step, just not all at once. Nothing is ever all at once. It's not like, boom, there's a pyramid. No, it was brick by brick by brick by brick by brick by brick. Wicked lot of bricks. Everything, think of everything in the world is made up of smaller bits. Even us, we're made of cells. And you have to have a wicked lot of cells to make a human. So chunking it down when you're feeling overwhelmed. Reminding yourself when you're feeling overwhelmed that how can I chunk it down? And then asking yourself that. Not enough time. Now again, I don't know your schedule. But what I want to offer to you is this. Have you seen, and I got to remember her name. If somebody finds out, put it in the comments, and I want to direct you all to somebody else's TikTok page because she's awesome. She presents content that's pretty much like, here's some stuff I've been procrastinating on for forever, and here's how much longer it really took me. She does some wicked fun videos. Follow her. She's delicious. Okay. Your head is saying, I don't have enough time, but what does your clock say? What does your paper say? You are probably spending some time spinning your wheels saying, I can't. And maybe you can't because you don't know how to declutter. So learn to declutter. And also, chunk it down. It helps with the not enough time. What is enough time? What is the definition of enough time that you don't have enough of? How long do you think it's going to take? And it won't be. If anything, I will share with you, over scheduling time for decluttering oftentimes does not give you as more results as when you do it a little bit at a time. So if you say, oh, I'm going to kick the world's ass, as I like to say, I'm going to kick the world's ass this whole weekend, I'm going to get it all done on the weekend, you're going to get tired. You're going to need to chunk it down and take some breaks. But if you say to yourself, this weekend I'm going to spend 2 hours in the basement decluttering, and then I'm going to go out and play, I'm going to 2 hours the other, you'll probably get more bang for your buck. Okay? Chunking it down. And noticing, seriously, and noticing is a lot. Observing where you do spend your time. If you don't have time to declutter, where are you spending your time? And I don't say this in any kind of judgy way. Remember we talked about the opposites. We've got love over here and hate over, or fear over here. Judgment over here is under fear. Curiosity. I'm just curious. Where do you spend your time? I could tell you, and I own it. I spent like 2 hours last night after we had a fun day, and I was scrolling on TikTok. But I don't consider it doom scrolling. I enjoy it. And I own it, and that's how I want to spend my time. So I don't guilt myself into, oh, I should be doing something else. But it's taken a while to get there. Now, Mary is saying one of the reasons that she's not decluttering is lots of emotional ties to things. Okay, you need to research your videos. Well, here, you've got me live right here. So what I want to offer to you with that is this. Yes, there are emotional ties to some of your items in your house. But not everything is an emotional attachment. So yes, I totally have emotional attachments. You know what an emotional attachment is? Think about that phrase, emotional attachment. Is you have an object, right? Like my mug here. Oh, and actually it's funny. I don't know. It's probably backwards for you guys. Slow down, breathe down, write down, chunk down. I made this mug for myself to remind myself of that. You have a thing, you have an object, and you have an emotion. Because an emotion is right here and the object is right here. What you have done is you have attached emotion to an object. Your body, your eyes, beep, 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 like the $6 million man. Inflation. The $6 million man, your eye goes, dee, 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 and it looks at the thing, and it sees the thing. And then beep, 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 beep. It goes back to your eye, but there's a connection between what you see and how you feel. And if you have an emotional connection, that thing you see, it's like it triggers a, like almost like a little video, a little story, a little loop, a little feeling. Oh, that's the thing that, and it tells a story. It's like hitting a play button on a little cassette player and it plays the story when you look at the thing. And this happens at the speed of light with many items. Now, sometimes the story can be very involved. Oh my God, that's the thing my dad gave me, or that's the frame that my friend Patrick made for me when he was doing those things, and the picture inside is when we were away, and oh my God, we were so much younger. And other times it's like, oh yeah, that's that mug that I had an idea and I got it made on the internet and now I drink from it. So lots of emotional ties to things. Sure, yeah, but not all of it. And so here, Mary and everybody, this is how I want to help you with this. So we talked about all the downs. I also want you to chunk down, categorize your clutter using these 3 areas or concepts. Surface clutter, notice my hand is kind of just up here. Stored clutter, kind of in the middle. And then sentimental clutter. Sentimental clutter is the hand on the heart, because sentimental clutter are the things that you have tied emotion to. That means you can untie the emotion from the thing. But not all of the clutter. If clutter is from here just right to here, that there's plenty of other stuff that isn't emotional. So start with that. Now this is where I will flip my metaphor from driving to swimming. Now I'm not a good swimmer, but I can picture a swimming pool. You've got the shallow end where you're in just up to your knees. And it's easy stuff. You guys, we got it. It's the stuff in the kitchen. It's the stuff, it's the laundry. It's the trash. It's the stuff in the fridge. It's stuff that you don't need to really engage your emotional brain or whatever to make a decision on. Start with that stuff to get yourself moving. As you do that, the surface clutter, you will then be creating a surface. You'll have some space to then go to the next level, which is going to be your stored clutter. Now, stored clutter can be a combo of stuff that it doesn't really affect you emotionally or stuff that does, and anywhere in between, because everything's a rainbow. Skittles, taste the rainbow. So stored clutter. Stored, remember, is behind doors and drawers. So it's the clutter you can't see, but you have X-ray vision. Just like those little glasses they would have in the back of the comic books. You know, without even being able to see through the door to the closet, right? I got a closet right here. I know what's in that closet without even opening the door. You do too. So you know that your clutter affects you even when you can't see it physically. So if you have hidden it behind a door or in a drawer, it still has an emotional pull on you. So surface, stored, and as you deal with your surface, your clutter, you're going to get better at that. You're going to change your habits. As you deal with your stored clutter, now stored clutter is when decision making comes in. And I want you to remember this one too. Again, if I was writing a book, I'd be like, decluttering is decision making, is deciding, okay, I have saved this from the past. Do I still want it now? Listening to yourself. And then saying, yes, I want it still. Okay, no big deal. If you want to keep it, where does it go? Listening to yourself for the answer. If I don't want to keep it, okay, no big deal. Small deal, I guess we'd call it. If I don't want it, how easily can I get it out of my home and feel good about it? Easy and feeling good. That's the process right there. So, okay, so Borger, what I want to offer to you is this. Okay, what if I cleared out chunks? I cleared out chunks and get they full again overnight. Do you have leprechauns in your house? Do you have little people from Stonehenge? Do you have gremlins? If you do, get in touch with me. We're taking it to the National Enquirer. We're going to make ourselves rich. Nah, you know what I bet you have? I bet you have habits. You and everybody in your house has a habit of thinking that decluttering is a one and done, and then just piling and not changing your habit of where you put things. Okay? Sconson is saying, I also tend to just shift the clutter. Yeah, shifting the blame. Shifting. Shifting is just putting something from one place to the other. You're right. You know what you're not doing, and you probably know this yourself. You're not decision making. You're not decision making. Deciding. Now, part of getting your clutter organized into piles is a beginning, but then you make a decision on a smaller chunk, on a smaller pile. So decision making, deciding, again, it's a really simple formula. What is this thing? Do I need it or not? If I need or want it, where does it go? That makes sense to me. And if I don't need it or want it, what's the easiest way I can get it out of my life? Lather, rinse, repeat that, people. That's really all you need. Now, Kitty Boots says, I'm going to do one thing and then I'm going to take a nap. Okay, good. Because getting in touch, remember back at the beginning of this thing, I talked about paying attention to your physical body. And the physical body will occasionally need naps and rest. Just like a road trip. You do not get from Pennsylvania to Palm Springs, California in one straight shot. You're going to need to stop. You're going to need to stop every couple hours and pee and get a snack and stretch. You're going to need to stop at the end of a day of driving and sleep. Because that's the rhythm of the human body. You know? So, yeah, okay. Yeah, but notice, Judy, you say decision-making tends to stress me, so I put it off. How about this? When you tell you something's going to stress you out, you're making it bigger than it really is. I would say this, but you said, but you are helping me strengthen that area. So I would suggest you rewrite that sentence in your head. This is a powerful thing. Put what you don't want in past tense verbs. Now that sounds too fancy. How about this? Decision making tends to stress me out is in the present tense. How about this? Get some distance from that unwanted behavior. Decision making used to stress me out. So I used to put it off. Back in the day, I used to think that decision making stressed me out. But then I decided to make some decisions, and I realized that decision making also got me what I wanted. It's like picking out what flavor pizza you want. That's a decision. If you don't decide, you get no pizza. If you have somebody else decide, they're going to give you whatever they want. What kind of pizza do you want? I am getting better. Before, it used to stress me out, but now I am better at it and getting better every day. Doesn't that sound a lot better? Doesn't that feel better when you say that to yourself? And seriously, a lot of once you figure out the physical, and also the words in your head do affect your physical, how you feel physically. The words in your head cause you to feel a feeling in your heart. You can change the words in your head, and you'll change the feelings in your heart. Now, Borger is either singing a song from Bye Bye Birdie or bringing up kids. I don't know what's wrong with these kids today. Kids. You know where you stand with a pet. Kids. Kids are people that you brought into the world, that you are teaching them the skills you have. You are teaching them how to become adults, but you can only pull from a toolbox that you have tools in. So you're teaching them what you learned. And maybe you learned some things differently, so you're doing some things differently than how you grew up. But what I want to offer to you too, and this is another thing, if I was writing a book, which I am not, so write my book for you, so you have your own one, is decluttering is a life skill. I'm going to repeat that for effect. Decluttering is a life skill. Decluttering is a skill that affects your life. If you don't know how to declutter, just look around. It's affecting your life. But if you do know how to declutter, if you learn the skill, it is a learnable, teachable skill. Decluttering. You can learn it and you can teach it to other people. I know this because I grew up in a cluttered home. I was never taught how to declutter rather. I was taught how to clutter, how to see a clear surface and go, oh good, now I can dump my stuff on the clear surface. It never occurred to me that clear surfaces could remain clear because I never grew up with clear surfaces that remained clear. It would be like work like hell to get the house look good for somebody else, have it look good for a hot minute, and as soon as they were gone, you get back to your old habits. I know this because my mother still lives in the house that we grew up in since 1969. And I see how she acts herself. So of course, if that's what she knows how to do, that's what she's going to teach. So Borger, I offer to you the opportunity. I just say, like, when you learn how to declutter, you can teach it to somebody else so your kids don't have to live with what they're living through. And they know how. And this is the thing that's greater than just making your house look good. As I went back to, decluttering is decision making. And decision making and deciding what you want and going out and doing the things to get it is a powerful life skill. I wish I had learned it earlier, but I'm so freaking glad I learned it now. And I am using this skill every place in my life. Every freaking place. What do I want? I listen, I answer, and then I go and make it happen. Or at least I try to. So decluttering is a life skill. It is teachable. Even if you don't know how to do it now, you can learn. I don't care how old you are. Okay? Yeah, no. Ginger, this is great. Hockey Chick, I saw you. I want to get into that. Ginger, may I ask how old you were? You know what? I was about your age. Back in the halcyon days of my 40s. Yeah, I'm about to be 50 and fear it's too late. Oh no, honey bunch. You're going to live till you're like 90. You are only like halfway through. Okay? I didn't learn this till I was in my 50s, so you are fine. You are fine. Okay, so Hockey Chick, I'm glad I waited because then you're listening to yourself, because Hockey Chick is saying, can you talk about the fear of putting decorative stuff back out after you declutter and purge? Okay, after purging and decluttering, now I'm afraid to put even sentimental stuff back out. Okay, so what I want to offer you, Eric, no, I do not have a book or a workbook, but feel free to write one. All the good stuff I say is on video. Just write it down for yourself. Boom, you've got it. You know, you've got still. So what I want to offer to you, Hockey Chick, and to everybody, fear. Get comfortable with interviewing your fear. Your fear is a little scared kid in a car seat, strapped in a car seat in the back of the car. So I would offer to you, now you can share it in the comments if you like. That would be writing it down, which is part of one of those downs, chunking it down, writing it down. But I would also offer to you, if you don't feel comfortable with that, which is fine. I don't care. Write it down for yourself. What am I afraid will happen if I put sentimental stuff back out after purging and decluttering? What am I afraid of? Give yourself some time. Write it down. Notice what you are afraid of. Notice what you are afraid will happen if you take an action. Fear stops you. But curiosity can get you understanding that maybe what you're afraid of won't even happen. Worry. Now, Jellybee says, for me, decluttering is about being brave. I love that. Yeah, I love that. I love it. And Hockey Chick, I love a rhyme, so I love it. You says, I was 59 when I got the nerve to purge. Nerve to purge. And Eric066NC, I will offer, I do not have a book or a workbook. I will share with you why. Because oftentimes people buy a book and they think that's going to solve their problems. Also books, I love books, do not get me wrong, but books are only one way of sharing information. What I do is I do these videos, and not just like they're live and then whoosh, they're gone. They're live and then they've been recorded like Memorex, and they are on the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. There are 700 videos. As of today, after this one's up, it's going to be 7:01. I'm doing a YouTube live in about 9 minutes, 7:02. There is so many resources. And sometimes it's good to listen to stuff. So, okay. So there are plenty of resources available. And I love the fact that I want people to participate. Now, a workbook, yeah, maybe a workbook. But also, I want people to really write down what is important to them. What are they learning? If you were taking notes on one of my videos, what would you write down? Because that resonates with you. Write your own book. Write it, make it bespoke. Use the resources I give you and write a love note to yourself. Discover what's going to work for you. Okay? Now, I love this. Kat Roby has been taking the last 52 minutes or so and kicking some butt. I love it. You know? Yeah. I don't have much, but enough for my anxiety to elevate, says user 42111. Notice I don't have much, but you still maybe have too much, because whatever the number you have is still causing your anxiety to elevate. What I like to think of, and this is another phrase I use, and I think we all know the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Now, there's a lot of things we could discuss about that, like why is she going into somebody's house and breaking in and eating and sleeping while they're out going for a walk? But notice the bears. Never mind Goldilocks. Notice the bears each have their version of just right. Even though to her, one was too hot, too cold, and just right for her. The comfy bed, it was just right for Mama Bear. You know, so what I want you to start thinking about is, what's your just right feeling? The right amount of items in your house. If the amount of items in your house causes your anxiety to flare, maybe you have too many items. If the items you have in your house, if you don't have enough and it causes your anxiety to flare up, maybe you have too few items. Notice what feels right to you. Yeah. Now, Hockey Chick is afraid that she's going to go back to the old ways, reverting back to being cluttered. This is kind of like going, and this is I want to say the problem. This is the process when you go kind of cold turkey. When you say, I'm cleaning it all out. When I'm never going to drink again. When I'm never going to eat Pringles again. It can be hard to maintain that. What I want to say is, introduce things a piece at a time. Live with them and begin to feel safe that you're not cluttering up the house. Small. Chunk it down. Slow down. What I would say is, if you want to put some stuff back in the house, your sentimental stuff, do it, but do it slowly. Pick out your favorite stuff organically. What are the things that you would love to see on that shelf? Do you want to see anything on that shelf? If the answer is no, maybe take the shelf down completely. That is, I will say, that is the kind of interesting thing about storage. Sometimes we have too much storage. We have houses that are too big. We have spaces that look empty to us because we have space. Maybe you get used to it being kind of not empty, but spacious. Again, the words, instead of feeling empty, it's spacious. It's quiet. It's calm. But notice your fear of it, so doing something about it. Now, here we go. I get 5 minutes left. I'm also going to get the YouTube. Actually, I'm going to take a moment right here, just so you guys know. So, Destination Decluttered on YouTube. Okay? It's wicked easy to find. And I'm going to get the video kind of beginning started. So, today's what? 5/19? Hey, 19, 2025. 9 a.m. Eastern, yep. YouTube Live. I'm a horrible typist. I don't care. She doesn't care. She doesn't care. All right, I'm going to put it on the playlist. May 2025. It's not made for kids, but kids could totally benefit from knowing how to declutter. Couldn't we all? If we learned this as kids, we might not be here on TikTok, but guess what? Here we are. Okay, let me just make sure it was acting wonky before, because I want to make it easy for us at 9 o'clock when we just go from one camera to the next. Okay, there we go. It looks like it's going to be all set. So in about 5 minutes, I'm going to go to the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. I mention that because that is the treasure trove. That is the abundance, but the not overwhelming abundance of help for you, declutter-wise. Okay? GGX2000, nice to see you. Planning on doing my closets and drawers. So open the closet door and start with ? Tops, pants. Chunk it down. Pick a category, any category. You guys, seriously, technically it does not matter where you start as long as you get started. So if you say, if it doesn't matter where I get started, start with the easy stuff. Get yourself started. Easy stuff is usually surface clutter. And when you get rid of the surface clutter, when you get rid of the filler, when you get rid of the chaff, then you'll have more chance to spread out to see what you have of the good stuff to decide what you want to keep. Yeah, and Eric, I love the fact that you said, makes sense. I have books I haven't read. See, I just saved you from another book you haven't read yet. There we go. Hockey chick. Yeah, so you have habits of being cluttered. Me too. My people. I grew up in cluttered people. I do something different right now, though. And I like it better. And yes, body doubling, PM11208. Yeah, body doubling for the HGTV, ADHD folks. Yeah, there we go. Cat Roby is king of butt, taking names. Hockey chick is noticing I do feel calmer with clutter gone. I can actually dust and vacuum without decluttering for a week. And here's a great thing, Hockey chick. Please notice your own physical timeline, your own life timeline. If you are so used to being surrounded by so much stuff for decades, it can feel different to not have as much stuff around you. So allow yourself, your mental, physical, spiritual, nervous system to start to be comfortable with fewer items around you. Give yourself some time. Do not rush to get stuff in again. So you're doing good. Think of the percentage of your life. You could do like a little math thing on your computer, your calculator. How many decades, how many hours and minutes of my life have I been surrounded by clutter versus how many minutes have I been, and notice I'm chunking down, decades, years, months, weeks, days, hours, minutes. How many minutes have I lived cluttered in the past compared to how many minutes I have lived less cluttered? The fraction is going to blow your mind, and so give yourself some patience. You're just starting. Way too many minutes, right, Hockey chick? And I'm from Mass, so I would say a wicked lot of minutes. Way too many minutes. Okay? Yeah. Calm Carolyn. I love it. I'm glad this helped you today. I'm going to sign off momentarily, but I'm going right over to the YouTube channel. So if you guys want to join me there. And then there's a decluttering party. If you're on the mailing list. Oh, actually, hold on. Okay, I dragged the Okay. We got a decluttering party. We've got, in 1 minute, I'm going from here to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. Hop over there. It's the same thing that's going to happen, but the neat thing is it's another hour of hanging out like this. Okay? I'm glad that helped you. All right. And I will probably start from the top with the same things. Feeling better physically, chunking things down. It's all good. So Canada's if you just signed on. So I'm signing off TikTok right now. I highly recommend, if you want to know when I'm doing a TikTok live, if there's a declutter party, all sorts of stuff, get on my mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com. Sign up for the mailing list. You get the TV guide, which is a hidden page on my website that shows you when the YouTubes and the TikToks are lives are scheduled. And then when you go over to the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel to do this live, you will also be like, oh, this is where she keeps all of her 700 videos that are here just to help me. Okay? And so I'm going over there too. Also at 10 o'clock this morning is a declutter party. If you're on the mailing list, you can be invited to them too. The invites are already there. Just buy your ticket and show up at 10 o'clock, okay? So I'm going to shut off my phone right now, and I'm going to go over here, and I'll see as many of you as you want to show up. If you don't know how to get over to YouTube, just go to YouTube and put in Destination Decluttered. I'm there, okay? This was wicked fun. I'll see you guys the next time I do a YouTube Live.